What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? Welcome to the Six-Man Show Postgame Live presented by Rock'em. Guys, I got a new toy. And what a great time to debut it when you smash the Indiana Pacers and finish off your road trip 3-1. You guys want to see it? Yeah, let's go. Your Orlando Magic defeat the Indiana Pacers 128-116. And it wasn't even that close. We're just going to forget the fourth quarter. Okay, guys, just forget the fourth quarter. All right. We're going to talk about the first three quarters. I'm kidding. We'll talk about the fourth too. But anyway, welcome to the Postgame Live. I'm glad you're here. Six-Man Show Postgame Live is presented by Rock'em. Rock'em is the world's largest sock store, and they are located in Orlando. That's very cool. They make great socks. They make great underwear. I've got a lot of their socks here with me right now. Orlando Magic, of course. And you can get these too. They've got some Franz socks. They've got custom socks. You can get custom socks made. So it's got the Magic on the front, Six-Man Show on the back. That's pretty fun. These are from our special Bo Outlaw episode. These are not available for purchase. But that's from our special Bo Outlaw episode. These are the City Edition socks. You know, City Edition going on. And then, of course, our favorites for this year, the classics that match the classics jerseys that the Magic are wearing this year. And you see the old school Magic logo on the back. Super, super sick. We love Rock'em. They're a great company, and they're a local Central Florida company. And so we say you should shop there. And when you do, be sure you use the code MAGIC20 to get 20% off your order at Rock'em.com. You get great gear, Magic gear, or maybe it's not Magic gear. Maybe it's NFL, NHL, college sports, Disney, Pixar, Harry Potter, Nickelodeon, all kinds of different things they have on their website. But use that code MAGIC20 to get 20% off. Get some cool gear. Help out the Six-Man Show. It's a win-win-win all the way around. Let's go. Guys, wow. Oh, man, chat, how are we feeling? Let's see here. We got to go all the way back. Chat is excited, and why not? Sam says, play that freaking song. Yeah. We absolutely need to play that song. I think, yeah, look at this. You guys are crazy. What a win. Absolutely. What a win. Everything's broken. Here we go. There we go. Sam says, what a win. Dizzy says, play that song and play it loud. Lachlan says, Suggs back was huge. Yeah, we're going to talk about Jalen Suggs. He was great. He was really, really good. Let's see. Let's see. Adam says, best half I've seen in a long time. Yeah, that first half, hard to believe. Hard to believe. Tavia says, let's go, Magic. Let's go. Kinetic Kid says, Paolo is a sexy beast. Oh, yeah. What a night for him. Oh, man. Chris says, when you have second half struggles, just get a bigger lead in the first half. Yeah, it's such a good point. The good thing about the Magic is that, yeah, as bad of a second half team as we were, tonight was just about as big of a lead as you could possibly have and almost not worry about giving it up. This third unit made it interesting in the fourth quarter, but, you know, like I said, we're just going to talk about the first three quarters. Ty with the early super chat, he says, hit the like button. We stomped him. Yeah, we sure did. And it was very enjoyable. I'm not complaining. You know, we deserved a night like this. We deserved a night like this. Icy says it. Icy conditions. Third team tried to make it interesting. Yeah. Soul Train says bench was great. The second unit was great. The third unit was terrible. But yes, I do know what you mean. The bench unit, the primary bench unit, was very good tonight. Adam says, Goga, block party. Love this dude. Yeah, Goga playing against his former team. Love to see it. Made life very difficult for them. Shelby says, that Paolo dunk was exciting. Yeah. I'm going to tell you guys, that's going to be the Jam Hot Chicken Jam of the Week on the Six-Man Show tomorrow. You better believe it. You better freaking believe it. Thanks, Praises says, 40-point lead against the number one rated offensive team in the league. I'd feel confident in a series against Boston right now. Woof. Yeah. That's a lot. But yeah, what a performance. What a performance, man. Yeah, man says 4 seed. Grits Baby says 2024 NBA champs. Doc 2 says exactly what I just said. That Palo Steel and Jam was a jam hot chicken seller. You better believe it. Michael Martin says we are 8-5. I know. Isn't that crazy? You know what? Calling an audible. We usually do this at the very, very end, and I'm still going to do it at the very, very end. But right now, just so we can enjoy it, look at that. Your Orlando Magic are 8-5. I understand to some teams, some franchises, they'd be laughing at us for like being super pumped about being 8-5. But considering how our worlds have been, especially for the last couple of years, but even going back to like the Euro Bros era, 8-5 would be impressive, especially given our schedule. Your Orlando Magic are 8-5, tied for the 4 seed with that other team in Florida, who, by the way, couldn't hold on to a lead in Chicago last night. Couldn't be me. My team was able to hold on to a lead in Chicago, not once, but twice this week. Miami gets off to a big lead in Chicago last night and chokes. Again, couldn't be me. Anyway, they're 8-5, as are we. Wow. Oh, man, let's see. What else do we see here? What else do we see? Ryan says, fine, I'll be happy for our win. There you go. Love it. Icy Conditions also says, Powell has been sneaky with the inbound steals lately. Yeah, he's a sneaky guy. David S. says, Halliburton was a complete non-factor. We locked that dude up. Very quiet. A lot of their guys were non-factors, which is awesome. Adam Landon, Harris was on fire. Yep. Gary Harris, local Indianapolis guy from up in Fishers. Actually has 317 tattooed on his shoulder, which I should reference. Sorry, 317 is the area code in Indianapolis. For those who don't know, I lived there for 4 years. I love Indy. It's a great city. I love their basketball, like fan culture. They love basketball there. Indianapolis is a great basketball town, but I just don't care tonight. I'm so glad we whooped them. Chris says we can confirm that our third string is not as good as their third string. Yeah, their third string, a lot better. A lot better. Thanks, Praises. This is a great point. It says, reminder, we did this without our starting center and point guard. That's no Wendell. That's no Markelle. And you go out there and do that. What a night, guys. What a night. Oh, guys, let's talk about this game. There's so much to like. There's so much we could talk about. You know, I mean, first off, the first quarter, you get off to an incredible start. And it was interesting going into this game. We talked about this on Monday on the Six Man Show. I filled in for Jonathan. It was me and Luke. And we talked about the fact that the schedule was so wacky. Like the Magic played, you know, this whole 2-game set in Chicago Wednesday, Friday, and then here in Indy on Sunday. Meanwhile, the Pacers hadn't played since Tuesday. What? They had 4 full days off, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 full days off. That like never happens in an NBA schedule. So when we talked about that on the Six Man Show, we were like, wouldn't it be nice if the Indiana Pacers came in a little bit rusty? You know? Wouldn't it be nice? Maybe we're on a roll. We won 2 in a row. We're fresh. We just played 48 hours earlier, a typical NBA rhythm. And maybe, just maybe, the Indiana Pacers are a little bit cool because they haven't played in 4 days. And they were on a rhythm, obviously. I mean, they had some of their biggest wins last week. They beat the Sixers. I think they beat the Sixers twice, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was the Celtics. I don't remember. They had 2 big wins last week, regardless. And they'd scored like 125 points in 4 straight games or 5 straight games. So I was like, wouldn't it be nice if the Pacers just cooled off after a 4-day layoff? And guess what happened? That's exactly what they did. Not just for the first quarter, but the second quarter as well. What a first half for the Orlando Magic. They get started right away. 11-0 run to start the game, and they didn't let up. 30-13, 35-14, they just kept going. And I'm telling you what, we talked about this, the fact that it was the best offense, Indiana Pacers, against the best defense, Orlando Magic, thus far in the season. What we fail to talk about as much on the Six Man Show or here on the Postgame Live was that it was also the inverse, right? The Pacers' best offense, but the worst defense. And the Magic, the best defense, and basically, in certain parts of the game, the worst offense. And so it made for a very interesting battle, at least on paper coming into it. But it wasn't a battle at all. I mean, the Magic got wherever they wanted on the floor, especially in that first half. There was just no rim protection, no defense for Indiana. How many buckets at the rim? Mo Wagner, I know he didn't score a ton tonight, but whenever he wanted to, he got to the rim. And there was just no stopping him. And same thing with other guys too. Franz, Paolo, Jalen. Guys got to the rim. Cole, over and over and over and over again. Grits Baby, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Says, after we beat Boston, the league will finally take notice. Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is coming into this week that just was, ending with tonight's game, I said a week ago today, this was going to be the most important week for the Magic thus far, and maybe even the most important week for the Magic all season. Because you go from playing high caliber Western Conference teams and then even high caliber Eastern Conference teams, Milwaukee and potentially Atlanta. We'll see how Atlanta ends up. To all of a sudden playing teams that are more your peers, on paper at least, in the Nets, the Bulls, the Pacers, and on Tuesday coming up against the Raptors. So to go on this road trip and go 3-1, you just can't be mad at it. Now, I say that Tuesday's loss in Brooklyn is still very disappointing. Very disappointing. That's a winnable game against a team that you could and probably should beat. So to lose by 20, still not good enough. I'm still upset about that. However, on the whole, if you look at a road trip, 4-game road trip, to go 3-1, you cannot be mad at that. You can't be mad at that. Now, obviously, Tuesday's a big game with the Raptors, but we're going to talk about that later. Donald says, maybe Indiana not used to a team defending them. Yeah, at least a team that can be athletic enough to keep up with them and is also defensive-minded in such a way that that's what they're going to focus on. But the cool thing was Magic were able to play defense. Again, I think part of it was Indiana had some rust. Magic were able to play defense, but offense just came so easily. This Magic team, it's no secret, has a hard time scoring the basketball on most nights. But against a team like Indiana that has no protection at the rim, cannot keep their man in front of them, that's where the Magic are at their best. Not when they're having to shoot a bunch of threes tonight. When they can just get into the paint, get to the rim, that's when the Magic are at their best. And I made the note to Jonathan and Luke in our group chat. The Magic at the half, I don't remember what the lead was. What was the lead at the half? 78-44 at the half. We had a 34-point lead at half, scored 78 points, and the Magic only took 9 threes. 9 threes. That's unheard of. Unheard of in 2023 to have that kind of score, that kind of margin, and only take 9 threes. And that's because that is when the Magic are at their best. I know 2023, it's all about the long ball in the NBA. I get it. The Magic are not a shooting team yet. And so to be able to do whatever they wanted offensively, get to the rim, get to the paint at any time they wanted, it was just a big time recipe for success. At the same time, we also just had everything going for us. We were getting every loose ball, every 50-50 call. I felt, maybe not every, a lot of 50-50 calls went our way. The Pacers were, missing shots they normally make on a lot of occasions. They were making some careless turnovers. Again, it all just went our way tonight. And that led to a gigantic, at one point, 40-point lead in this game against, so far this season, one of the best teams in the NBA. Oh, man. Steven says, aside from the fourth quarter, that was the most enjoyable game of the season. Yeah, that was just an onslaught. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe the way that we just beat them down. Adam says, we can beat anybody. That's the theme of the year. Anybody, any night. That's the thing with this Magic team. At the same time, you could lose to anybody at any night. Noel says, never let your foot off the gas. Yep. Ryan says, I didn't enjoy the fourth quarter. No, certainly did not. Ty with another super chat, bro. Thank you so much. He said, we didn't need threes to beat the NBA's best offense. Yep. As a team, you go 7 of 20 from 3, and a lot of those were in the fourth quarter. Steven said it. When Orlando did whatever they wanted offensively, and for a majority of the game, defended to not let Indiana get in a rhythm. Yep. Absolutely. Oh, man. David S. says, we have trouble scoring generally, but we're still at 8-5. Shows how awesome our defense has been. Man, I'm telling you. Icy Condition says, when was the last time the refs favored Orlando in a game? It's very rare, but I thought tonight we had some generous calls. Yeah. Fortunately, this is not a game tonight where it's like the Pacers can blame the refs for the loss, because that's absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. Soul Train says, Magic would be scary if they got more consistent shooting outside. Yeah, absolutely. Either, different personnel or current guys making a jump. If it was more consistent, you're absolutely right. All right, let me talk about the rest of this game, and then we'll hit the box score and do all the things we always do on this show. That's what I was saying. Magic got wherever they wanted. How about that Cole miraculous bank shot and one? That's when I knew. Like, obviously, they had like a 30-something point lead at that point. Maybe it was high 20s, low 30s. Once that bank shot went in, you know what I'm talking about, where Cole's like gets bumped and is basically falling away and heaves it up and banks it in. Once that shot went in, I was like, okay, we got this. That's it. Like, that's the game. And I know Indiana's dangerous and blah, blah, blah. But once that went in, I felt okay. I was like, we're going to be fine tonight if that's going in. Then we had what we already talked about, that Paolo poster, which made it a 28-point game. What a dunk that was. I mean, Paolo, man, that dude, some nights he just has these dunks to just pure power. Ugh, that's what that was. That's a strong dude. That's a big dude. Yeah, what a exclamation point that was for him. Then Franz, I mean, it was like multiple highlights in a row, like in a span of several minutes. Cole with the bank shot and one, Paolo's slam poster, and then the Franz steal and one on the break made it a 31-point game with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. And I was just like, okay, surely we can't blow this. Again, 34-point lead at the half, 78 points. First off, 78 points in the half is impressive. But the bigger thing is holding the Indiana Pacers to 44 first half points. Incredible. I just did not expect that. I did not expect that. Again, at the half, Paolo had 16. Jalen had 16. He only ended up with 18. So he scored 16 of his points in the first half. And here's what the biggest stat I circled at the end of the first half. You forced 12 turnovers. Great. That's sensational. The Orlando Magic committed only 2 turnovers in the first half. 2. You'll beat anybody if you're playing like that. Only 2 turnovers. Incredible for a young team like this to go out there and play like that. 2 turnovers in the first half. Unbelievable. I still can't believe it. Sean says, statement victory. T4A says, did you see the bullying Mathurin was trying to pull on Anthony Black? He got on the bad side of our guy since the start of the game. Yeah, Benedict Mathurin, I think, was just a little bit salty about the night, about the result, about maybe the fact that I think Dante mentioned it, maybe it was Jeff, maybe a little bit salty that he was on the floor in garbage time. Maybe. Yeah, Michael says Ben Mathurin is a bum. Yeah, what a clown. Let's see. Soul Train said, you'd think a Magic player would have had 40 plus by how they dominated. Yeah. Very balanced night tonight. Max score was 24, Paolo. You had, I believe it was 6 guys in double figures. Such a balanced night. Karen says, for the first time, there was more to be happy about versus complain about. Yeah. Right now, those teams, obviously second halves might still be an issue. But man, first half, incredible. Donald Andrews, yeah, this was a note I was going to talk about later. 35 of 42 at the line, 83%. You shoot 42 free throws in this game. Crazy. It's just so aggressive. And again, with no rim protection, easy. Michael Lynch says, one happy maniac right here. Hit the like button, go Magic. Yeah, that's a great idea. Michael. Why don't you guys hit the like button? Hit the like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. We're the 6-Man Show. We have an Orlando Magic podcast. Comes out every Monday and Thursday, and we do these live postgame shows after each and every Orlando Magic game. This is where the Magic Maniacs come and hang out, right here. This is where the real ones are. So we're glad you're here. Oh, man. And then, once we get into the second half, I mean, at that point, the game is not over, but almost, Magic get it up to a 40-point lead early in the third quarter. Then The Pacers go on a run at the end of the third, gets it down to a 13. They go on a 13-2 run, get it down to 29 after the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter. I don't even want to enter. Do we have to talk about the fourth quarter? Do we have to? I mean, they got it down to a 13-point lead. Magic committed 9 turnovers in the fourth quarter. Like, it was a disaster. The starters didn't play in the fourth quarter, by the way. Not a single second. It was the backups in the third unit. And the Pacers' third unit is way better than ours. Let's put it that way. It was really bad. Really, really bad fourth quarter. But I don't really want to talk about it, you know? Jesse said, I hit the light, Kev. I'm a Magic maniac. Go Magic. Yeah, you are. You absolutely are. You maniac. Sean says, I know we need 2 to 3 year sample size post-draft with Jet Howard, but I was a big Jordan Hawkins supporter. Anyone else think it was a mistake passing on him? Is Jordan Hawkins better than Jet? I'm going to go back to your first sentence, Sean. I know we need 2 to 3 year sample size post-draft. That's what we need. I think it's too early. Obviously, you'd like to see him play better. You'd like to see him play at all, you know? He's not playing at all. He's getting in here in garbage time. I think it's way too early to be talking about, you know, if we should have drafted somebody over him. Maybe we should have. We'll find out. Oh, man. Michael says, I didn't think about this, but Carlisle was Mo's former head coach. Probably took out the starters for that reason. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know if that played anything into it. I think it just had to do with the game being over. Maybe, essentially. Anthony Velez says, my favorite podcast, Go Magic. Anthony, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm still like, I still am having a hard time processing what we just witnessed. Like, it was just over and over, one thing after another, just absolute demolition job by the Magic tonight. I just couldn't believe, like, I kept waiting, especially in that first half, for the Pacers to wake up or the Magic to slow down, and it just didn't happen. Next thing you know, you had a 40-point lead in the third quarter. Man, very, very happy with this performance tonight. And it just sets you up really well for this week. Let's take a look at the box score, guys. Franz with 6 of 14 from the field, missed both of his threes, but 7 of 7 from the free throw line. 7 boards, 2 steals, 19 points. Great night for Franz. By the way, spoiler alert. I'm going to say a great night for a lot of people because a lot of guys had a great night. Really quick, Celica Game, I believe is how you say that, says any six-man show guys coming to the Boston game. Well, if you are referring to those of us who run the six-man show, Jonathan is going to be there. I can't remember if Luke's going to be there. Luke, I don't know if you're watching tonight, but let me know. I'm going to ask him right now. At one point he said he was, and then maybe he said he wasn't. I'm not sure. Will you be at the Boston game? There we go. We'll find out. But yes, I know Jonathan will be there for sure. Jonathan will be there. Oh, Steven, look at this. Jet Howard is our last lottery pick. Oh, I like that. That is great. All right, Jonathan says yes. Both Jonathan and Luke will be at the Boston game on Friday. I was going to, and then we decided to go visit family on Friday. Way up in Virginia, but it'll be a good time. Okay, where were we? Box score. Here we go. We talked about Franz already. Great night for Franz. Like I said, we're going to say great night for a lot of people tonight. A lot of people. Obviously, Paolo. I mean, just really good night for Paolo. 9 of 14 from the field, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 3 boards, a steal, 2 blocks. Look at this. Only 1 turnover combined for Franz and Paolo. That is how you do it, man. That's crazy. 43 points, 1 turnover. We're not losing to anybody with that stat line. There's nobody we're losing to when they combine for 1 turnover and over 40 points. That's crazy. I didn't even realize it was 1 combined turnover. Wow. Goga, we already talked about it. Great night for him. 8 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks. I thought he had 5. Sometimes these box scores there can be some discrepancies, but either way, right now it's listed as 4. Solid night for him coming up against his former team. Anthony Black, 7 points, 5 boards, 1 assist, 2 blocks. Yeah, he had a couple nasty blocks and maybe had another one, but got called for a foul. Again, offensively, This is about what we expected from Anthony Black to start the season. He had a couple great offensive performances that surprised us, but this is probably more the norm for Anthony Black. Maybe what we should expect a little bit more. Jalen Suggs, 18 points, 3 boards, an assist, a steal. No turnovers for Jalen Suggs. 0. So here we are now. You go through the whole starters. The starters combine for 3 turnovers. I cannot believe that. That is crazy. 3 turnovers combined for your starters. I'm curious how often that happens in the NBA today. I bet it's not very often for anybody. 3 turnovers for your starters. Wow. The second unit, solid. Joe doesn't score. But once again, he does everything else. 6 assists, 4 boards, 2 steals. Crazy. Good night for Joe. Wish he hit a 3, but whatever. Gary on fire, couldn't miss from 3. Ends up with 13 points, 3 of 3 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 assists, 2 steals. Just a solid night. Solid night for the man out of Fishers, Indiana. Jonathan Isaac, 5 points, 3 boards, a steal, a block. Only 13 minutes for him. But here's the deal. We need to stockpile our Jonathan Isaac minutes, save them for later, because we don't need him to go play 20 minutes tonight. I'm just saying. If you're out there blowing him out, sit Jonathan Isaac. I know the medical team is keeping track of every single microsecond he's on the floor. They've got a number. They've got a target, especially I would guess over the course of the season or over the course of a week or whatever it looks like. So save these minutes for a game when you need it. Totally fine with him playing 13 minutes tonight. Cole, another Cole night. 15 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, had a block, did have 4 turnovers. Cole had more turnovers than the starters combined, which is funny. Mo Wagner, 16 points, 3 boards, 2 assists. Again, I thought Mo was great offensively tonight because he just abused the Pacers in the paint. Like he did whatever he wanted down there, which was, just credit to him. He saw the advantage and took advantage of it, And then we get to the other guys. This unit scored 3 points. Anthony Black played those minutes as well, but 3 points for these 4 guys in between 5 and 8 minutes each. Yeah, that was a little bit rough, but hey, they survived. We survived to the tune of a 12-point victory in Indianapolis. Guys, before we look at the rest of the box score and all the other fun stuff, to the nearly 200 of you that are with us tonight, thank you for being here. To the Six Man Show Postgame Live. This show is brought to you by Rock'em. Rock'em is the world's largest sock store, and they are located in Orlando. It's a great company. They make great underwear, great socks, all kinds of fun branded things and prints and all kinds of stuff. Sports, whether it's NFL, NHL, college sports, and of course NBA, like the Orlando Magic. They've got it there on the website, as well as non-sports things. Like they've got Cartoon Network stuff and Nickelodeon stuff, some new stuff, some old school stuff. They've got stuff for the holidays with Christmas right around the corner. We love Rock'em. It's a great company. The people that work there are the best. They're awesome. It's a great place. And that's why we recommend them. We wouldn't recommend them if we didn't actually genuinely love them. They're a great company, and you can use code MAGIC20 when you shop at Rock'em.com to get 20% off your order at Rock'em.com. Oh, man, guys. Let's look at a couple other things. As you know, I like to look at some of the team stats, and especially on a night like tonight. I actually haven't looked at these yet. I imagine some of these team stats are wild. Let's see what we got here. Points in the paint, 66 for the Magic. I know that the Pacers had 64. I would guess that maybe 20 of those might have been in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe for both teams. But again, Magic, especially in that first half, they just did whatever they wanted in the paint. There was no shot blocking presence for the for the Pacers, and there was no attempt to keep guys in front of them. Loved it. 20 fast break points for the Magic, way more than the 4, I believe it was on Friday. There's that biggest lead, 40 points. Bench points, 52-63 in favor of Indy. But again, that's all with the fourth quarter. Our third unit scored 3 points, and theirs scored a lot more. Before that, we were definitely winning the bench point mark. Turnovers end up with 15, but again, we had 9 in the fourth quarter without the starters in the game. So before garbage time, we had six turnovers. Good grief, that's crazy. That's insane. Here's how the quarters broke down, I should say. 42-21 in the first, 36-23. Shocking. The Magic lose a third quarter, 35-29. To be fair, they won the first 10 minutes of the third quarter, and then the Pacers went on a run there. Casey Wood with the super chat. First off, thank you, Casey. Appreciate that. That is very generous of you. He says, if we trade for Zach LaVine, who will we give up to get him? Casey, a lot of people have been talking about this, about Zach LaVine. I personally do not want to trade for Zach LaVine. I've said that before, but if you haven't heard it, I personally don't want to trade for Zach LaVine. I think he's the streakiest scorer in the NBA. Now, when he's going, he is one of the best. But there are nights when he's terrible, and I think his attitude sucks. I think it's bad. Now, maybe it's just because of where he is and Billy Donovan, who I don't think he should be the coach right now. I'm surprised he still has a job. Maybe it's just a situation, but I don't think he has a good attitude. Now, to answer your question, who will you have to give up to get him? At least one or two. I'd say at least two of the young, talented players that we have. I'm talking like a Jalen Suggs or, I don't know, Anthony Black or obviously Franz Powell, untouchable for sure. Those guys, and then 2, maybe 3 first-round picks. It's too expensive for me, at least. But I don't think Chicago does it for anything less, So that's why I just do not see the Magic even entertaining that. Let's look at some other team stats here. I always like how ESPN breaks this down. I like the layout of this, at least. We've talked about this already. You score 128 points and make 7 threes. That's just crazy. That's just unheard of in 2023. It's crazy. You also hold the Pacers to shoot 25% from 3. I would assume that is their low for the season because they were on fire from 3 before this. You make 83% of your free throws and you shoot 42 of them. Wow. It's crazy. And you out-rebound them. 21 assists on 43 field goals. I thought it would have been higher than that based on just what I saw. But, still 21 assists, not bad. 10 steals, 10 blocks, 15 total turnovers. Again, 9 of those are in the fourth quarter. I don't look too much into those numbers right now. We already mentioned 20 fast break points, 66 points in the paint, 23 fouls. And again, never trailed, and you led by as many as 40. Wow. Crazy. Let's look at some scores from around the league. Scores around the league. We'll look at the standings. I'm going to talk about this week that's ahead, and then we're going to call it a night. Obviously, first and foremost, you have this beautiful score. Orlando Magic, 128. Pacers, 116. Let's go. Huge win. Nuggets right now, trailing the Cavs by 18, so they're gonna lose with 51 seconds left. Big because the Magic play the Nuggets on Wednesday. So I believe tomorrow they go to either Chicago or Detroit. I can't remember the Nuggets before they come to Orlando. Where is it? Detroit. So they play in Detroit tomorrow. Then they get a day off and play us on Wednesday, which will be the second night of a back-to-back for us. So obviously you expect them to win tomorrow by a handsome margin. Probably get a lot of rest. And it's going to be interesting on Wednesday when you play the Nuggets on the second night of a back-to-back. Luke Sylvia, co-host of the Six Man Show, says, Jonathan and I going to see us smack Boston in person Friday for the in-season tournament. Baby. It's going to be a spicy game. Going to be a spicy game. Other scores. Come down here to the Eastern Conference games that are done. The Raptors just demolished the Pistons. I got to be honest, guys. I knew the Pistons would be bad. I did not expect them to be this bad. They are just a mess. Only 2 wins on the season, and they've been blown out in most of their losses. They've just been destroyed. Sixers beat the Nets 121-99. Man, we should have beat that Nets team on Tuesday. Still very disappointed in that. Only 3 other games currently going on. Mavs are currently leading the Kings after 1. Celtics off to an early 6-0 lead. And the Jazz lead the Suns. Last but certainly not least, we already looked at this already, but we're going to look at it again. I'm going to refresh this. The standings, because your Orlando Magic, whew, look at that. 8-5. What is crazy to me, guys, 8-5. 8-5 is fine. It's great. But that's not like an 8-5 where we played 13 games against mediocre Eastern Conference teams. No, that's 8-5. You've already gone out west for one of your two big West Coast road trips, which you split, by the way. You went 2-2. That's 8-5 when you played a game in Mexico City. That's 8-5 when you've already played the Bucks, the Lakers at home. That's 8-5 with that schedule. And this week, when you played teams that are, again, on paper in the same category as you go 3-1. You took care of business. Love to see it. Now, this week ahead, that changes. That changes big time. Obviously, Tuesday, you play Toronto. I think the Orlando Magic are better than the Toronto Raptors. I believe they should win that game on Tuesday. I will be disappointed if they don't. Not just because they're better than the Raptors, I believe, but because, again, it is an in-season tournament game. The first one at home. I hope, especially if you are there, if you Magic Maniacs are there, you got to bring the noise, okay? Got to be crazy. Because that's a big game. That's an important game. You got to win it. If you lose Tuesday, you're out of the tournament. But besides that, just talking about the regular season standings. Yeah, you should beat that team. Make it make sense as Pierre A is in the building. Pierre A, welcome, bro. Glad you're here. Glad you are here. Aza says, would you bring back Vucevic? Would you bring Vucevic back if the Bulls blew it up? Yes and no. Yes, I'd love him on that contract. Maybe let's wait until his contract's done and he costs a little bit less. But going back to this week, guys. Big week. Raptors on Tuesday. You got to win that game. Not just because you're better than the Raptors, but because the next two games of the week are tough. Because you second night of back-to-back on Wednesday, you play the Nuggets. Friday, you host the Boston Celtics. There's not two better teams in the league than those two. I mean, I know Minnesota is top in the West right now, but I mean, who are we kidding? I'm more scared of the Nuggets than the Timberwolves. In my opinion, those are the two best teams in the league right now. Nuggets, Celtics, you play them Wednesday and Friday respectively. So by golly, you got to beat the Raptors on Tuesday. I'm just saying. You got to. So if you are going to any of these games this week, obviously Tuesday, Friday, huge in-season tournament games. But Wednesday, it's against one of the best teams in the league. Yeah, you got to show up. Be loud. Be crazy. I do want to look at the schedule for the next week because that's where it changes a little bit. Because you go from Toronto, Denver, Boston at home. Look at these three games on the second half of the homestand. Charlotte, Washington, Washington. The two worst teams in the East. Two of the worst teams in the league. You get 3 shots at them. I'm sorry. If this team is as good as we think they are, you have to go 3-0. You have to go 3-0 in that stretch. You get a nice 2 days off between Sunday, Wednesday. Nice day off between Wednesday, Friday. If this team is what we think they are, you have to go 3-0 next week. But we'll get to next week when we get there. This week, it's a tough week. Toronto, Denver, Boston, all very important games. What will the Magic do? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Chat, one final time. Let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your thoughts on this game, the week ahead, whatever it might be. Jonathan and Luke are actually right now, as we speak, getting ready to start their recording for the 6-man show. That'll come out tomorrow, obviously. They'll recap this game. They'll recap the Boston game on Friday. What a week for the Magic. 3-game win streak, riding high. You play the Raptors on Tuesday. Win that game. Anything's possible in the in-season tournament. We'll see. Lachlan says, thanks, Kev. You do a great job on these. Lachlan, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that a lot. Celica Game says 3 easy wins. We'll see. If you're referring to those ones next week against Washington, or Charlotte, Washington, yeah, they should be easy wins. Again, if this team is what we think they are, they should have that killer instinct and win all those games. Artos says Jamal Murray out. Yeah, if he's still out, that'd be huge. I know there's talks of him coming back soon. I don't know if he'll be back now, but I definitely should take a look at that. Chris D says, let's do it again on Tuesday. I'd love it. Sean says, I can't watch a Magic game anymore without coming here after. I appreciate that. David S says, my last thought is that after the way the Gators football game ended and after my Bucks loss, I needed this. Yeah, it was a rough football weekend. For me, as a Florida State fan, obviously devastating night last night. I don't remember a more sad event in Florida State football. Yeah, there have been bad losses over the years, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't anything like last night. Losing Jordan Travis on senior night. I've watched him play in the Florida State uniform for 5 years. He's given his heart and soul to Florida State, and to have him just brutally, literally snap his leg against a cupcake was just one of the saddest things I've ever seen. It was heart-wrenching. But tonight was great. Tonight was great. Your Magic just destroy the Pacers. I know the score is only 12 points difference, but we know it was more than that. It was a blowout by the Magic, which you love to see. Again, Magic back in action on Tuesday. Tune into the 6-Man Show tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jonathan Isaac going to be hyped after this week. I'll see you on Tuesday night. But until then, let's go Magic!